Hello there. Morning to you. Um, Hope you liked the communion. Hope you were, well, I hope you had a good Sunday and avoided the showers, the torrential rain. Um, Ian Cathcart, Flemington Hallside, thought for the day. Um, as you know, we had I mean, it's probably a few weeks ago now, but there was a thing in the Times talking about how to help with lockdown and cope with the incarceration. And we had the Times had gone to a group of different nuns in some various convents on the basis that they cope with lockdown all the time. And so I think I was kind of maybe I was just attuned more to nuns than I should have been. So I've got some more news about nuns, and this time it's not in the Times; it's on Netflix. Um, it's a new television series from America called Warrior Nuns. I thought I really needed to check it out. So um, I have to say, it's not quite as bad as it sounds, although it's pretty close. Um, there was a film a few years ago, Michael Fassbender, um, Assassin's Creed. It's kind of like that in the sense of it's warrior nuns who are trained by the Catholic Church to fight against demons and all kinds of things. And there's a kind of origin story to start with, but it's so funny. Um, it's just it's a bunch of nuns who, when required, get swords out and kill demons by cutting them and killing them, and they're led by this special chosen one. And just at the end, or well, certainly of the first episode, um, she she's already dead. This person, but it gets all complicated. She gets ended up. She's kind of put into the position where she's leadership by default type thing, and she's trying to find out all their powers and all that. It's cobblers, and it was just it was. But I thought it was sufficiently interesting that I needed to bring you up to date. Not because I want you to watch it. I mean, hopefully you have enjoyed the various things that I've pointed you towards on the films. I'm not pointing you towards Warrior Nuns. No, um, it's more. Um, I suppose it's more along the lines of Distracted. Um, the older I get, the less I think things are there as a malevolent strategy, certainly not by the people involved, to kind of take people away from ethical living or thinking about Christ. The more I look on it, it just seems to be people are distracted by stuff, by life, by things that just encroach. And when that happens, it means things that shouldn't be given the priority that they are given the priority that they are. And when things are in the wrong place like that, it's essentially idols that you're dealing with. I've said before, idols are basically, um, no, as far as one would normally deal with them, they are good things, but in the wrong place. In other words, it's not really golf is not a bad thing. It's not like I should be preaching from the pulpit. Do not give in to the demon inspired activity of golf. It's just we all know people who only do one thing in life, and that's play golf. It's the fact that golf has a kind of central place in a person's life to agree that it's in the wrong place. And just because I was interested, I mean, I'm making allowances, but it it um, it was the fact that I did think it was actually quite funny. Um, this was on a website with regard to it's called Inverse, so it's a kind of science fiction website, and they were covering this new television series Warrior Nun, and so the guy they call him the showrunner. It's a term I've not heard recently. But he was being interviewed, and so they're asking him all the kind of various questions, and then right at the end, because it is a television program called Warrior Nuns, and they ask him about his own faith. If you don't mind me asking, what's your own religious background, and how did that influence Warrior Nun? I'm from a very mixed religious background. I have Catholic, Presbyterian, and Jewish in my family. So I was raised in the sort of shadow of Catholicism only by my immediate family. My parents were from Ireland and very liberal minded. They gave me the option to pursue any religion I wanted. And so I opted to not really go into any religion. I was more into science fiction. Didn't realize these were kind of options. And it's the thing you realize when you see other people living their life. It's not that the things necessarily are wrong, but is it in the right place? Is it held in some kind of sense of proportion to the other things in life that should be given seriousness? In other words, I think people should take Jesus seriously. This guy had the option, but he was more into science fiction. And now we have to cope with warrior nuns as a consequence. Um, what I'm saying is, when you when you have passages, this is the last two verses from First John. Um, you wouldn't what I'm about to say. You wouldn't apply. You wouldn't think, oh yeah, warrior nuns. That's what it applies to. But it was just the fact that the guy was interviewed and held religion and science fiction in is some kind of equal hobbies to get involved in. These are the last few verses in First John. Um, we know that the Son of God has come and has given us understanding so that we may know him who is true. And we are in him who is true, in his Son, Jesus Christ. He is the true God and eternal life. Little children, keep yourselves from idols. And because we don't bow down to these things and because they're not carved out of wood, um, we tend to think, well, golf isn't an idol. It's never the thing that defines it as an idol. It's the way a person deals with it. The guy wasn't into religion. He decided not to go into religion because he was into science fiction. I love science fiction. I'm not going to, no one's going to hold a candle to me in my devotion to all this, The Mandalorian, Star Wars, Star Trek. I like this stuff. It's just this idea that there's people in this world who go faith, science fiction. Choose. Two questions off the back. Do you have anything in your life that you recognize it's not wrong, it's not bad, it's just it features too much in your life? It's something that's there to a degree that it shouldn't be. We don't live in a culture that would say, Is it an idol? Well, I am this morning, so I'm asking you the question. Little children, keep yourselves from idols. The thing is, it is something which I think ultimately you have to recognize the specific point of idols is to distract you from the thing, my apologies, the person who should be in the place where that idol is. Do you have the devotion to Christ that that guy has, obviously, to science fiction? He's so into it. He read the manga, Chinese, Japanese comics that initiated warrior nuns. Don't tell me you didn't know. Everybody knows that. The fact is, they took these comics and turned it into television series because he's that into science fiction. That's not wrong. It's just wrong when it becomes this choice. Who do you know who is sufficiently distracted, led astray to put a focus and give a premier place in their life to something that's just dominating to a degree that it shouldn't? It is important for us, especially at a time when lots of us have far more time in our hands than we kind of normally have, and can indulge idols more than we should. So, what have you learned? Don't watch Warrior Nuns. It's really not worth your time or money. 2, the guy, one of the key guys in it, who made it, has a really weird idea about religion. And 3, who do you need to talk to? Who has an idol in their life far more than they should? And is that person that you need to talk to yourself? If you're a Christian, God invites you to think about it, not get uptight about it, not give yourself a load of grief about it, not be incredibly self-loathing about it, just to recognize it, name it, and deal with it. Lockdowns hit a whole lot of people and moved them sideways. Lockdown has given a whole lot of things that we would normally not have time to, but it has distracted us from the central focus that we should be giving to Jesus. But remember, if you keep on going with God, He'll help you to put Him in the right place. If you go with God, I know He'll go with you. Good to see you. Bye-bye.